In this tutorial, I'm going to walk through my installation of the SiriusXM InfoLink receiver WM-4 on Wile 1, a 2021 Nautitech 46 Open. I will cover the cost of purchase as well as the cost of other items to complete the installation. I will cover the cost of the service. For installation, I will cover everything from the antenna installation and location to mounting the receiver and running the wires and cables. I will talk about getting B&G and WM-4 to talk to one another, initiating service, and the challenges I had there. I will also talk through the interface on the B&G Zeus 3S chart plotter. And finally, I will give you my thoughts on all this as well as my initial thoughts on the service. Today I'm going to mount my SiriusXM radio antenna and get the cable routed down through the support beam for the solar to figure out exactly where I need to mount the receiver. Should be pretty simple to do actually. I already have a mounting plate up there on the arch. Down into the engine compartment. That's the easy part. Where it gets going, where it routes from there, and whether or not I have enough of cable to do so. I don't think the cable is long enough actually, and you can't really add an extension because of the losses of the antenna cable would hinder the performance. So it comes with a mount. It comes with a mount, and this just gets bolted down to the support. It's designed to either go on an extension pole or also be mounted directly onto a deck or something like this. But since I already have the support, I don't need to do that. I might have to move my iridium antenna back a little bit. We'll have to see whether or not, when it's transmitting or not, whether or not it hinders the performance. I don't know how close the bands are between Iridium and SiriusXM, so it might, depending upon the antenna and the RF front end sensitivity, it might hinder the performance. This lock washer and this nut holds the antenna onto this mounting piece. This is a rubber gasket, it's sealed. I think you want to keep this connection point between the antenna cable and the antenna buried, and I don't see any way to kind of bury it up into there. So I think you need to kind of coil the line out like this so that I can get this all up here like this and dress this cable out like this. But that's oh, I don't like that. That's a really sharp bend. So I wonder if I can make disconnect it, feed it down, feed this end down through the other side because it's not going to be here, unfortunately, and kind of coil it up underneath here. I'm not really super happy with the way the cable is dressed inside the housing here, but I think it's better than actually having an exposed connector, and I have no other way of doing it, so I just kind of stuck it inside the housing like this, and I don't like these sharp bends, but I guess maybe it shouldn't be too bad as long as it doesn't move around too much and weaken the connection over time, I guess. Alright, the instructions are not super clear, but they give us some screws and some what looks like some sealing O-rings for the screws, but it's not clear exactly which side they want you to put them on, because there's this sealing O-ring that goes around the entire thing. So I guess in principle it should seal, but maybe they want it between the two surfaces of the clamshell to seal that off. Alright, well, now I'm thinking that these little rubber O-rings belong up here with the screw going in through here to prevent the water from getting in, rather than down here keeping the water from getting out. I tried tightening it up with them in there, and it seems like there's not enough compression around this gasket right here, so it could be that these are keeping it from really sealing that up pretty well. Alright, that seems to seal it up pretty well. I think that's the way to do it. Put the rubber gaskets in there and keep the water from getting into the screw hole where it can't drain out. Okay, the base has a couple knockouts. Only take one of them out so that the cable has a room to exit, and then you need to dress the cable up through this channel in the gasket.
So I have Starlink, I have Iridium, and then I also have Starlink, Iridium, and Sirius, and that all comes down through here and runs through this channel right here, and runs through this, cut through the bulkhead, and then runs up underneath where the aft starboard bed is over there. Runs up through there, and there's a hole up through the top, I think, where I routed the cable. So it's pretty clean in here. Alright, here's the starboard aft bed, underneath this bed, and here's where I've mounted the WM-4 marine radio receiver, and I'll go down there in a second and show you exactly how I routed the cables and stuff. Okay, here's the antenna. This is all the length there is left, and it has a little SMA to push on adapter. I don't know why they didn't just put an SMA connector at the end of this. Maybe it would have been too fat or something. I don't understand. But there's three outputs. Well, there's three other connectors. So we have audio, and power is over here, and then the Ethernet connector is right here. So what else? I had to run all this from here all the way to the forward cabin and the underneath the starboard where the electronics are, and I had to get some extensions It's not the best. It wasn't the easiest to route, actually, and I had to extend the power cable, so I had to splice that in. There's a fuse at the end of the power cable that came with it. It's only about 5 or 6 feet long, but I fused it on both ends. I fused it over there as it comes out of the panel, and then there's the fuse here. But I didn't bury this fuse here, so I can get to it. It's back here. It's back here just in case something blows, and I can replace it. And then also you can see that there's an audio cable. I had to get 2 extensions. I had to get a 25-foot and a 15-foot to make it all the way to the fusion. I was a little bit concerned about audio quality, but I don't seem to notice any additional noise or anything. I think if you round it on your boat, you want to make sure that you stay clear of any radios or high electromagnetic generating equipment. So, you know, the water maker's down here, and I suspect that this pump can probably put out some pretty big fields. Whether or not you'll actually hear it or not, I don't know. It's pretty far away. I don't think you will. Every project on the boat puts the boat in disarray, and yeah, it's crazy. Can't imagine doing this stuff while underway. And on top of that, we're actually doing our laundry today. And Shreen's trying to sign up for the package so we can try everything out. So today I'm trying to finish up the installation of SiriusXM radio and weather. And unfortunately I can't move the receiver much closer to everything else that it needs to connect to because the antenna is too short. And you could probably try to find an extension to it, but perhaps the losses would be too high for the radio to work. So right now I'm just trying to wire everything up and make sure it works before I start mounting everything. This network extension port, I had to buy another one because this one is full. All the ports are full. I don't have any room to put it up here, so I'll have to put it down here, which I think will be just fine. And it gets routed to the sonar receiver, which is over there. So should be no problem, I think. And then the next thing I have this audio cable. This is the one that I'm really most worried about. I'm worried about ground loops and noise between fusion and the SiriusXM radio. So we'll have to see what it sounds like. I don't even know how to control the channel though, because I don't think the fusion has any access to it unless it is actually connected to the Ethernet network, which I'm not sure about. Alright, the sonar hub is located here in the starboard forward bilge location, and well, this is the power cable. There is perhaps another, I don't know what's down here. It feels like that's another sonar connector. You can attach another sonar unit. Anyway, I had actually 2 ports that were open. This one gets run up to the NEP that I just showed you up above, and then this one gets run up to the NEP, and then this one actually is run to the WM-4.
What you doing?
I'm installing Sirius audio and weather, and waiting for my wife to sign up for an account so I can check my wiring out.
Yeah, so here he is. He had to go underneath the chairs. The cabinets. This is where we stick a bunch of our food in here, this cute little hole. And it's off of the nav station. There's the nav station. And just had to go in here into our radio, which is going to be marine, weather, and XM music. So now we have to just register online.
Okay, there's a few items that I kind of struggled with initially in trying to get SiriusXM working. The first and foremost is you need to make sure that Sirius the feature is actually turned on, and initially on my chart plotter it was not. So the way you do that is you want to go up here, you want to go to settings, and then you want to go to advanced, and then go down here to features, and you can scroll down, and you will find one item initially that has SiriusXM right here. If you turn this off, you will not be able to go to the diagnostics for Sirius, and I think it doesn't even try to talk to the module. So I had to turn that on first. The other thing that is pretty useful is if you go to settings, you come down here to network, settings, navigation, network. You come down here to network, and you come down here to Sirius status, and then click on here. It gives you a whole lot of useful information like the radio ID and whether things should be working on it. If you go in here to diagnose, you get a whole bunch of diagnostics. Now, I had actually called when I was having difficulty getting this all working, and the tech representative that I was speaking to didn't actually have any knowledge whatsoever about some of these fields, because I was actually getting it connected when it was connected, and the WM-4 was suggesting that it wasn't communicating with the chart plotter. I was actually getting some of these fields filled in. For example, like the manufacturer was getting filled in. The SXE DL state was going to available. Hosting SXEDL was on occasion going to yes. I don't know why. I was also getting the DLV version as well as, the DL version as well as the DL API version filled, but nothing else was getting filled in until it actually started working again. Alright, I've been debugging the interface between the B&G system chart plotter and the WM-4 SiriusXM receiver, and it seems like there is some communication because the chart plotter does seem to see the device. If I'm able to disconnect when I disconnect the device over Ethernet and go into this menu, it says, it doesn't see anything. So there is some information that it's interpreting from the WM-4, but it's still not able to communicate. The WM-4 says that it's waiting for the MFD to communicate with it, and I think we're in a stalemate here. So I don't know. I spent countless hours trying to find out a path to get the audio cable that I routed up in the electrical box over to where the mast comes down, the mast support where the radio is, so I can run the dual RCAs for the SiriusXM audio. And I was unsuccessful with what I have, unfortunately, but it looks like after much deliberating and tearing apart panels and all kinds of other things, I realized that these two water pipes run up just behind where the radio is, and there looks like there's an opportunity perhaps to follow these up and get the cable through there, so without having to cut anything else. So I didn't have a wire fish, I guess this is what this is called. So one of the fellow cruisers at Chub Key actually had one of these, and so I'm about to give this a try, and hopefully we can get this up. We can get this up to the center of the boat, and then I can route the audio cable down. Yeah, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. Oh my god. Okay. After about an hour of trying to fish this tape up through there, I am about to pull my hair out. I've tried to go from both directions, from where the AC is in the saloon down to here, and also back up, but I'm getting caught on something and I just can't figure it out. Those pipes make a steep bend up, and then they go over along this side of the bulkhead and the wall, but I can't seem to get up over there, and I don't know if it's just very narrow. I can't see up through there, or what. It's frustrating. All right, after another hour, I finally get the fish tape up, coming out of here, and I had to get another coat hanger and fish around back there for it, because we could hear it in the wall, but it wasn't coming out where we needed it. So now I am going to attempt to put a line on it and send another line out the other direction, so I could tie the RCAs onto the other end and pull them up through here. All right, I got the painter, the additional painter I'm going to leave in place in case I need to route another wire through there. Tied to the snake, or the wire fish, I guess, and then I have the RCA cable, the female end, because I'm mating up with another cable down below. And I will feed this through, and hopefully it doesn't get snagged somewhere. All right, we're gonna try it out for the very first time. Run the audio, power it on. It's connecting. It's connected to AirPod. We're gonna select Sirius. Sirius?
Yeah. Is it serious? Or...
Woo! Woo! Alright, Shereen wants to know, so when you go in here, you have SiriusXM, and then you have Sirius. I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference between Sirius and SiriusXM. I think, oh, yeah, SiriusXM is actually, if there was a separate receiver connected directly to the Fusion receiver, which we do not have. This one is just connected. This one is connected over aux2 and is located elsewhere. Okay. So the audio cable comes up through here and gets fished up through here in this hole over here, and gets connected to aux2 right here. So I'm going to go get some heat shrink and heat shrink these so they don't disconnect while underway. Alright, I'm going to put this heat shrink on here, and it'll keep it from, rather than using tape, it'll keep it from disconnecting. Alright, here's the painter that I pulled down through, and then here I have, I think it's a 25 foot that goes to underneath the starboard aft bed where the receiver is, and then I have another 15 foot connected here. 25 feet is obviously not long enough, so I'm going to heat shrink these so that they keep the moisture out and keep them from pulling apart Alright, so changing the channel, you can skip ahead. Oh.
No, it changed the...
Get them back. You see, this is skipping them. High hopes. I think...
D's at 9, that's right. They do 57.
There's 23. Go back. Grateful Dead channel. No. Are we in the right thing?
Is 57 there?
We were just on 57.
Uh-uh. 57.
57. Y2 Country.
Oh, look, 58 is Kenny. How can that
Alright,
be?
what did you just press? Dude, what did you just do? Shreen, stop pressing. You obviously did something, and it's now searching. Audio cable comes up from here, from the bilge, and run over behind here to there. And this guy goes in here. Ugh. My SiriusXM WM-4 receiver challenges continue. So I went to turn on a radio station this morning and everything worked just fine. Then I went to look at the list of subscribed channels and scroll through it, and it kind of locked up the entire multifunction display. And then it said that the Sirius radio was initializing, and then it rebooted the MFD, the B&G Zeus 3S, and now it says initializing Sirius radio, and it's completely borked. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. I'm not sure about this product, to be honest. Alright, so I powered down the Fusion radio, and now I'm going to go in the settings and see if I can figure out what Sirius is complaining about. So it says everything is active, audio subscription active, antenna, but antenna may not be connected. Weird. Audio status says it's waiting. Signal strength says it's waiting. Interesting. It is seemingly connected. Oh, there we go. Took a while, I guess. Maybe Sirius Audio had to reboot. The radio had to reboot. Now everything says it should be working. Let's see. I don't know why it took so long. Let's turn it on. So if you go full screen here, you should be able to go click here and see the list of all the channels. Right now it's set to favorite. I turn it to subscribe. You should be able to scroll through here, but it's not real great. I don't know why. This is where everything got all screwed up. Oh, this is what got screwed up last time. Initializing Sirius radio, and now it's all putzed up again. And now the MFD is all, well, we are getting wind instruments. Let me do this. That's not working. Power button's not working. Home button is not working. Nothing is working. Something is not happy. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to put it on, oh, there, it very slowly gets a list. Okay, so I found out a new way of actually getting a list of the channels. So if you go into full screen mode, you come in here, go full screen, then you can come to settings, and you can go to channels, there you go, and you can say by category. Now you can get a list by category, which is kind of cool, and add them to your favorite list, which seems pretty cool. You can click that, and or you can say all, and you can get a list of them all. It seems to be the best way to actually do it.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Okay. I found out another thing about volume control. So obviously on Fusion, if you adjust the volume here and you're on all, it'll adjust it for all. And if cockpit is muted, like it is here, it does not unmute and does not adjust the volume. It is, if it does, for example, have some volume and you're on all, it will adjust the cockpit and the saloon relative to their set volumes. However, if you go back over here, you see that the volume is set really low, and if I adjust it here, it actually lowers it, the volume inside. But if I come back over here, you'll actually see that it adjusts the cockpit volume up, despite the fact it was muted. So maybe I'll figure out a way around that. Thanks for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions whatsoever, please make sure you're subscribed. Once you're subscribed, I'm happy to answer any of your questions you may have via email at svwile1@gmail.com. Thanks again.